Hello, everybody. My name is Tom Letter, and I'm the creator of Selenite Swords of Light, and I've been making the swords for the past 13 years. And I've also been making pendulums for about the past 7 or 8 years, and this is my latest pendulum. It's called a Alchemy Processing Pendulum, and it's actually a shape of a pyramid. And it's made of over 400 power crystals mixed with selenite powder in an epoxy, poured into a mold, and then I add a gold-plated neodymium magnet. And this is what gives the pendulum so much power in creating a field and also to assist you in answering questions. Now, you may see this blue cast on my arm. I've got a broken ulna, but you can still dowse even with a broken ulna. I think the important thing to remember that dowsing has been around for thousands of years. The Indians used to dowse regularly. They found pendulums in the pyramids. So dowsing has been definitely an activity that's been used to help develop the intuition and to get correct answers from source. So when you're dowsing, really, you're getting the answers from your higher self, that higher frequency of you. And so the main objective is to not have any anticipation or expectation of any result when you're dowsing. Just allow the pendulum to give you the answer, whether it's a yes or a no, or a percentage or a direction, whatever it may be. Allow it to occur. Don't try to control it. Don't have your ego involved. What I found is that sometimes people will have blocks to dowsing. They say, oh, I can't do this. I'm too much in my head. So the idea is one thing you could do is just take a minute of silence before you start, close your eyes, and then after the minute, come out and start to work on the process of dowsing. So the first thing we want to do is find a yes and a no. So now remember your pendulum I would recommend how you hold it is not with the index finger, but with your second finger and the thumb. And the other thing you can allow is the pendulum does not have to start from a standing position like, say, start. Mine kind of does, but it doesn't have to be that way. You can swing the pendulum back and forth, and then you can ask the question, show me yes. And as soon as I say that, mine goes clockwise. Now, maybe someone else, it might just go back and forth. Maybe it'll go right to left. Or maybe some people, if you're maybe in the southern hemisphere, might go counterclockwise. So your yes could be a number of directions, but in general, in the northern hemisphere, it will be clockwise. But if it's something different, it's fine, just so it's consistent. So show me yes, it goes clockwise. And if I say show me no, and mine goes counterclockwise. Now maybe it might, for somebody else, it might be back and forth or front to back. The objective is to find the yes and find the no, and have it be consistent when you ask the question. So the thing that can happen with dowsing is sometimes our mind can get in the way or distortions in our field. So there is a little process that we can do, and you can do this with me. You would take your pendulum and just swing it counterclockwise. And when we swing it counterclockwise, it's creating this field. And I found that when you go counterclockwise, it clears things out. So what I can do is I can call on the heavenly heroes, or I could call on Archangel Michael and his legion of angels to assist me in clearing any distortions from my field so that I get correct answers. So I just let the pendulum swing counterclockwise. And whenever it slows down and comes to somewhat of a stop, I can allow it to go clockwise. Now, if it doesn't go automatically, just swing it counterclockwise. And what clockwise does, clockwise then seals it in the light. So counterclockwise clears, clockwise seals it in the light. And then we can start the process. Show me yes, show me no. Now, what I've always found is one way to get really good with dowsing is to practice. And I could say, okay, I've got this orange. I can ask, is this orange good for me? And actually, I get no on that. Is that because there's some spray on this orange? Yes. So this orange has a little problem. It's been sprayed. Not great for me to eat. Here I have a vitamin called Heart Gems. So I'm going to ask, would this vitamin supplement be good for me? Says yes. I've got another one. This is glutathione, which I could say, okay, is this vitamin good for me? And it says yes. So those two are good. If I wanted to check a vitamin C, so what I would recommend is as soon as you get your yes and no, do a little practice. Go around the house. You could say, is this plant in the right place? It will tell you yes or no. Do I need to move this or move that? You can ask the pendulum. So again, what we want to establish is what is yes, say it's clockwise, what is no, counterclockwise. And the way that you do that is practice. I happen to have studied with a lady named Hannah Kruger, who was from Boulder, Colorado, and wrote 50 books, but she was a great dowser. And she said, don't be upset if it takes you a week to learn how to dowse. But I really found that people can pick it up really quick. Just allow yourself to connect to the higher self, have no anticipation or expectation of the result, and you'll be able to do it. Another thing you can do is you can check out, say how I could say, okay, how much more powerful would I be working with a selenite sword? And we can do percentages. So I could say, okay, am I going to be 10% more effective or more powerful? It says yes. How about 10, 20, 30, 40, still going 50, 60, 100, 100% more, 200%, 300. So my pendulum, I found that the swords are so powerful, it will keep going for quite some time. But there I found I'm at least 200% more effective working with the sword than just holding up my hand. Again, for those of you who might be having just a little difficulty, just you can meditate a little bit, do the clearing, then do some practice, let the pendulum swing back and forth, and use the index, not the index finger, but the second finger and the thumb to hold the pendulum. And the pendulum doesn't have to go down really far. This is really a great position because it's very responsive. So this has been a short video to help you if you've been having trouble dowsing. I found practice and just have no anticipation or expectation of any result, and you'll be able to do the dowsing. I found that the pendulum has just been so helpful over the last 13 years that I've been dowsing, 14 years. I check everything that goes into the swords. I check with the pendulum. Every crystal that I add, I check with the pendulum. Every sacred water that I add to the swords, I check with the pendulum. I check everything. And you might say, well, I want to be just intuitive. An interesting thing is the most intuitive individual I knew, Aaron Anderson, was able to talk to your grandmother, your grandfather, whoever had passed away. He could get in touch with them. He was very psychic. But when he would check things, he always used the pendulum. And he also, I went through some training with him, and he was trained by Dr. Purcells in New Mexico before she died. So have fun with your pendulum. just go easy and clear yourself and practice. I think you'll be able to operate the pendulum with great efficiency. Thank you.